Rick Ness is facing one of the biggest challenges of his gold mining career. His water license for Duncan Creek is set to expire, and with no guarantee of renewal, he finds himself at a crossroads. If he doesn't secure a new claim, his entire operation could grind to a halt. Despite successfully paying off one claim, he needs more viable ground to keep his crew employed and his mining future alive. In the world of gold mining, experience and knowledge are just as valuable as the equipment used to dig up paid dirt. That's where Jeff Bond comes in. A seasoned geologist with decades of experience, Jeff has been prospecting in the Yukon for years, and he believes he has found a promising new site for Rick. Located just 8 kilometers away, Jeff introduces Rick to the Goldfinger property, a claim with minimal overburden, meaning mining could start almost immediately. Jeff has done extensive research and presents sample results showing an estimated $15 worth of gold per yard. While that figure is lower than what Duncan Creek produces, the low cost of stripping and moving dirt could still make it a profitable venture. Rick, however, isn't the type to jump into a deal blindly. He needs to see the gold with his own eyes before he commits to anything. Years of experience have taught him that numbers on paper don't always translate to real-world success. To help Rick visualize the claim's potential, Jeff takes him to a trench where large boulders and cobbles are visible, classic indicators of historical fast-flowing water, which often transports gold. Rick is intrigued but remains cautious. The geology looks promising, but until he physically processes the dirt, he won't make any commitments. Jeff, being a former geologist with the Yukon Geological Survey, is confident in his findings. He understands Rick's skepticism but urges him to test the claim firsthand. If the samples prove positive, this could be a game-changing opportunity that secures Rick's mining future. Despite owning some of the largest mining equipment in the Yukon, Rick decides to take a more compact approach for this job. His tool of choice? A small tow-behind excavator, a machine he's owned for 5 years but rarely used. Given the dense terrain and limited access to the site, this piece of equipment is perfect for maneuvering in tight spaces and extracting test samples. Before heading to Goldfinger, Rick loads up his side-by-side with the mini excavator and necessary supplies. His goal is straightforward: collect roughly half a yard of dirt, bring it back, and process it to determine if the claim holds enough gold to be worth mining. The journey takes Rick 5 miles north to Jeff's claim. While Jeff is looking to sell, Rick is weighing his options carefully. Before he can start digging, there's another obstacle, literally. Thick alders block access to the trench, forcing the crew to take chainsaws and cut a path through the overgrowth. After some hard work, they finally create enough space for Rick to maneuver his mini excavator into position. But the challenges don't stop there. The small machine proves to be more difficult to handle than expected. At first, it refuses to start, causing frustration. However, with persistence, Rick finally gets it running and begins operating it within the confined space. As he digs deeper into the ground, he starts to notice promising signs. Large boulders beneath the surface indicate an ancient riverbed, a crucial clue that gold may be nearby. The terrain bears a strong resemblance to the gold-rich deposits found at Duncan Creek, which further raises his hopes that this claim could be worth investing in. With the trench finally open, Rick carefully extracts enough material for a proper test. To get an accurate read on the claim's potential, he needs 25 buckets, roughly half a yard of dirt. Once collected, the material is loaded onto the side-by-side, and Rick prepares for the journey back to Duncan Creek. Now, all that's left is to process the sample and see if the numbers hold up. If the dirt yields enough gold, Goldfinger could become Rick's next big claim. If not, he will have to keep searching for viable ground before time runs out. For Rick Ness, the stakes couldn't be higher. The future of his mining career depends on finding new land to exploit. If Jeff's claim proves to be the right fit, it could secure Rick's operation for years to come. But as any seasoned miner knows, nothing is guaranteed until the gold is in the pan. Rick Ness wastes no time after collecting a sample from the Goldfinger claim. With the fate of his mining future hanging in the balance, he loads up his side-by-side and transports the paid dirt back to Duncan Creek, where his trusted gold processor, Heather Folster, is waiting. This test is critical. If the sample yields promising results, the Goldfinger property could be the lifeline Rick desperately needs. If not, he must continue his search for viable ground, a process that could cost him valuable time and resources. Upon arrival, Heather gets straight to work. She is an expert in gold cleaning, having processed countless samples over the years. She knows that mining is a game of trial and error, and precision is key. Rick watches closely as she meticulously runs the dirt through screens, cubes it, and finally processes it on the shaker table. The table's oscillating motion allows the heaviest materials, including gold, to settle into the grooves while lighter sediment is washed away. Every speck of gold matters, and Heather leaves no room for mistakes. As he waits for the results, Rick reflects on the realities of gold mining. It's backbreaking work, dirty, wet, and grueling. But there's a reason he keeps coming back. The thrill of discovery, the camaraderie of his crew, and the dream of striking it rich drive him forward. Still, the stress of the unknown weighs heavily on him. If the Goldfinger claim doesn't pan out, his operation could be in serious jeopardy. Right now, it's a bit worrisome, Rick admits. It would have been nice to stick with a known, productive cut instead of chasing something new. But now, all the pressure is on the next spot. The hours tick by as Heather methodically processes the sample. Rick's entire crew gathers around the gold room, waiting for the final tally. When Heather presents the results, the numbers are disappointing. The sample yields just over $20 worth of gold per yard, far below Rick's required $30 per yard benchmark. While Jeff Bond had promised minimal overburden and a decent return, the numbers tell a different story. "I'll be honest, I'm not too interested in it," Rick states bluntly. He lifts a small jar containing the recovered gold and passes it around. It's a stark reminder of why thorough testing is so crucial. Even with promising indicators, not every claim turns out to be a gold mine. That's part of prospecting, he continues. We need to make sure the ground is worth the effort. Despite the disappointing results, Rick remains determined. He turns to his crew, knowing their loyalty and dedication are just as valuable as the gold they seek. "I want you guys to come back," he tells them. "At the end of the day, I'll make sure we have the best ground possible." His crew stands behind him without hesitation. They know that mining is full of ups and downs, but their belief in Rick keeps them together. Around a roaring fire, they share a moment of unity, reaffirming their commitment to one another. "We got your back," one of them says. Rick nods, appreciating their loyalty. "I know you guys got my back, and I got yours too." The search for gold never stops, and neither does Rick Ness. While the Goldfinger claim may not be the answer, it's just one step in the long and relentless journey of gold mining. With his crew by his side and his determination unwavering, he will keep pushing forward, searching for the claim that will secure their future. The Yukon is vast, and somewhere out there, the right ground is waiting. The only question is, will Rick find it in time? While Rick hasn't signed on the dotted line just yet, Goldfinger is shaping up to be his next big move. The numbers, the logistics, and the crew's confidence all point in the same direction. If he moves forward, Goldfinger could set the stage for a profitable and sustainable operation, one that secures his mining career for seasons to come. For now, the decision looms, but one thing is clear: Goldfinger isn't just another claim, it's a calculated opportunity that could define the next chapter of Rick Ness' gold mining journey. With his Duncan Creek water license set to expire, Rick Ness is under immense pressure to secure a new claim for the upcoming mining season. After extensive testing and careful analysis, the Goldfinger claim has emerged as the most promising candidate. Mining success isn't just about how much gold is in the ground, it's about how much it costs to extract it. Goldfinger may not yield the $30 per yard that Rick ideally seeks, but with estimates exceeding $20 per yard and significantly lower overburden than Duncan Creek, it offers an attractive return on investment. Less overburden means less time and fuel spent stripping the land, cutting costs dramatically and making the claim economically viable. Rick is well aware that no ground is guaranteed to produce, but in an industry where adaptability is key, Goldfinger offers a realistic path forward.